You have done some huge, groundbreaking things. I mean, actually before, like right before we jumped on the call, like I was shaking because I was so nervous to talk with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of my head, right? Because you've done so much that I almost felt like just out of my element in a way that made me like, oh, I don't deserve to interview her. And
Oh,
that is
come on.
not,
No.
and that's not what you're about. You're 100% about empowering women and girls to step into who they are, stepping into their power, and going places that no one has gone before. And anyway, I just need to stop fangirling so hard so I can look at you.
Well, I must say, at my age, fangirls are all welcome. Believe me. No, I adore your straightforwardness, Christine. Your enthusiasm. It's infectious, and thank you for it very much. But what you were saying at the beginning about being feeling fear
Mhm.
about talking to me is really the opposite of what I mean by dangerous. And sometimes I feel like I need to explain that, because when we think dangerous as a concept, we do think someone to be feared. And there are millions of women living in desperate fear for their safety and their well being all over the world. So I considered using that word very carefully because of the negative uh, connotations and definitions of dangerous. But what I want uh, the takeaway to be from any conversation with me, but certainly from reading the book, is the concept that dangerous is about stepping into your own power, using it for the good of other people, and sharing it. And for me, that's what women are especially good at. So that's why in the book, I also profile a lot of other women who have been on that dangerous journey and who have reached a place where they have huge impact on other people's lives.
I have read your book. It's amazing. And something that, one of your chapters like really struck, I mean, gosh, so many did, but you open with falling forward, and you talk about, some of the things that you went through growing up, and with your pregnancy early on, and then balancing becoming a mom with your ambition and trying to do the best both places, while also like feeding that like need inside of yourself to do something purposeful. um what would you say to women today who are trying to balance all of those things as well?
I think balance is one of those concepts that just we're never going to get it absolutely right. And so we're always struggling to get it right. But I don't know that balance is possible. And I've come to believe now that I don't even want it. What I had wished I had, and I wish now for you and all the other young women listening, is to be kinder to myself. I wish I had just realized that this balance I was going for, feeling like I was a good mother and I was pursuing my work with my full capacity and capabilities, um, that I had been kinder about realizing what I was juggling and what I was doing right. Because it's a guilt that you feel you're never in the right place at the right time, and that is not healthy for anyone. It doesn't improve the lives of our children. It certainly doesn't improve our lives. But women do have real seasons of giving birth, and then not, and menopause, and all the other things that we go through. To see them all as just places on the journey, and know we can't be in all those places on the journey all at one time. And that would have put my ambitions or aspirations or dreams into a different context, and it would have allowed me to be, I think, more joyful about being a mother as well.
Gosh, so such a great point, because there is this guilt factor that I think that, I mean, I personally try to overcome it. the other day I was talking like about ambition. Literally last night, actually, I was talking about the word ambition like it was a bad thing for a woman to be,
Mm.
because I'm ambitious, and a lot of the women that I surround myself by are super ambitious. And I was like, why do I have this stuck in my head that this is a bad thing? Like, why does that make me evil? Like the bad guy in like a show. And I was like, am I Cruella? Like what's going on, right? Like it's almost a socialization that
Yeah.
I have to untrain myself because I don't believe it. But then I find myself falling back into that like
Hmm.
trap where I like, oh, don't use that A word.
Well, there are a lot of those words that dog us all the way through our lives because they're words that we didn't put all those connotations around it, but society and culture has. And
Mhm.
it's, different in different cultures and places, but we have to own those words and own those concepts in a different way. And it's definitely not easy. And you can't just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to be okay about being ambitious. I'm going to be okay about not being home at 5 o'clock or not preparing the best dinner or not all the knots in the nose, um, because we have the power, again using that word, to change all of the ways in which we have been socialized and culture has taught us to compete with each other, to compare ourselves to each other, to always feel that we haven't quite measured up. There's so many sociological studies that prove how this has held us back from achieving our own dreams and full potential.